What's going on, everybody? Sports Player 2.0 Daniel here. And guys, we went 3-1 in the NHL, 8-3 in the NBA, and 7-5 in the MLB. So we had a good day in the NHL, a great day in the NBA, only 3 games wrong out of 11, which is really good. And in the MLB, 7-5, 2 games over 500. So we had a great day today. We went over 500 in all the sports, so that's a really good day. So let's move on to tomorrow's games. The Devils are going to New York to face the Rangers. The Devils come in at 14, 22, and 6, and the Rangers come in at 21, 16, and 6. The last game these two teams played last time, and the New York Rangers won 4-0. The likely starters for this game is Mackenzie Blackwood for the New Jersey Devils and Igor Shesterkin for the New York Rangers. And the New York Rangers are a favorite in this one. Give me the Rangers to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Washington Capitals going to Philadelphia to face the Flyers. The Capitals come in at 28, 12, and 4, and the Flyers come in at 20, 17, and 6. The last game for the Washington Capitals, they lost 5-2 versus the Buffalo Sabres, and for the Philadelphia Flyers, they won 2-1 in a shootout versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. And the likely starters for this game is Vitek Vanacek for the Washington Capitals and Carter Hart for the Philadelphia Flyers. And the Washington Capitals are a favorite in this one. Give me the Capitals to win this game on the road in Philadelphia. Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Penguins going to Buffalo to face the Sabres. The Penguins come in at 27, 13, and 3, and the Sabres come in at 11, 25, and 7. The last game for the Pittsburgh Penguins, they lost 2-1 in a shootout versus the Philadelphia Flyers, and for the Buffalo Sabres, they won 5-2 versus the Washington Capitals. And the likely starters for this game is Tristan Jarry for the Pittsburgh Penguins and Dustin Tokarski for the Buffalo Sabres. And the Pittsburgh Penguins are a favorite in this one. Give me the Penguins to win this game on the road in Buffalo. Next up, we have the Ottawa Senators going to Montreal to face the Canadiens. The Senators come in at 14, 26, and 4, and the Canadiens come in at 19, 13, and 9. The last game for the Ottawa Senators, they lost 3-2 versus the Winnipeg Jets, and for the Montreal Canadiens, they won 2-1 versus the Calgary Flames. And the likely starters for this game is Anton Forsberg for the Ottawa Senators and Carey Price for the Montreal Canadiens. And I don't know who's favorite in this one, but give me the Canadiens to win this game at home. Next up, we have the St. Louis Blues going to Arizona to face the Coyotes. The Blues come in at 19, 17, and 6, and the Coyotes come in at 19, 20, and 5. The last game for the St. Louis Blues, they lost 4-3 versus the Colorado Avalanche, and for the Arizona Coyotes, they lost 5-2 versus the Minnesota Wild. And the likely starters for this game is Jordan Binnington for the St. Louis Blues and Antti Ranta for the Arizona Coyotes. And the St. Louis Blues are a favorite in this one. Give me the Blues to win this game on the road in Arizona. Next up, we have the Nashville Predators going to Carolina to face the Hurricanes. The Predators come in at 24, 20, and 1, and the Hurricanes come in at 28, 10, and 4. The last game these two teams played last time, and the Carolina Hurricanes won 4-1. The likely starters for this game is UC Saros for the Nashville Predators and Peter Mrazek for the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Carolina Hurricanes are a favorite in this one. Give me the Hurricanes to win this game at home. Next up, we have the Florida Panthers going to Tampa Bay to face the Lightning. The Panthers come in at 27, 12, and 5, and the Lightning come in at 29, 12, and 2. The last game for these two teams played last time, and the Tampa Bay Lightning won 3-2 in overtime. The likely starters for this game is Sergei Bobrovsky for the Florida Panthers and Andrei Vasilevsky for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And the Tampa Bay Lightning are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Panthers to win this game on the road in Tampa Bay. Next up, we have the Chicago Blackhawks going to Detroit to face the Red Wings. The Blackhawks come in at 20-19-5, and the Red Wings come in at 16-23-6. The last game these two teams played last time, and the Detroit Red Wings won 4-1. The likely starters for this game is Kevin Lankinen for the Chicago Blackhawks and Jonathan Bernier for the Detroit Red Wings. And the Chicago Blackhawks are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Red Wings too in this game at home. Next up, we have the Edmonton Oilers going to Winnipeg to face the Jets. The Oilers come in at 25-15-12. 25-15-2, and the Jets come in at 27-14-3. The last game for the Edmonton Oilers, they lost 5-0 versus the Calgary Flames, and for the Winnipeg Jets, they won 5-2 versus the Toronto Maple Leafs. And the likely starters for this game is Mikko Koskinen for the Edmonton Oilers and Connor Hellebuyck for the Winnipeg Jets. And the Winnipeg Jets are a favorite in this one. Give me the Jets too in this game at home. Next up, we have the San Jose Sharks going to Minnesota to face the Wild. The Sharks come in at 18-21-4, and the Wild come in at 26-13-3. The last game these two teams played today, and the Minnesota Wild won 3-2. The likely starters for this game is Joseph Coronar for the San Jose Sharks, and for the Minnesota Wild, they have Kaapo Kähkönen in net for them. And the Minnesota Wild are a favorite in this one. Give me the Wild too in this game at home. Next up, we have the Blue Jackets going to Dallas to face the Stars. The Blue Jackets come in at 15-21-9, and the Stars come in at 16-14-12. The last game these two teams played last time, and the Dallas Stars won 4-1. The likely starters for this game is Jonas Korpisalo for the Columbus Blue Jackets and Anton Khudobin for the Dallas Stars. And the Dallas Stars are a favorite in this one. Give me the Stars too in this game at home. And that does it for the NHL. Let's move on to the NBA. The Jazz are going to Los Angeles to face the Lakers. The Jazz come in at 42-14, and the Lakers come in at 34-22. I'm going to go with the Lakers here. Give me the Lakers too in this game at home. Next up, we have the Detroit Pistons going to Washington to face the Wizards. The Pistons come in at 17-39, and the Wizards come in at 22-33. I'm going to go with the home team again. Give me the Wizards too in this game at home. Next up, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers going to Chicago to face the Bulls. The Cavaliers come in at 20-35, and the Bulls come in at 22-33, and the Chicago Bulls are a 1.5 point favorite in this one. Give me the Bulls too in this game at home. Next up, we have the Golden State Warriors going to Boston to face the Celtics. The Warriors come in at 28-28, and the Celtics come in at 30-26. I'm going to go with the Celtics here. Give me the Celtics too in this game at home. Next up, we have the Memphis Grizzlies going to Milwaukee to face the Bucks. The Grizzlies come in at 28-26, and the Bucks come in at 35-20, and the Milwaukee Bucks are an 8.5 point favorite in this one. Give me the Bucks in the money line, but give me the Grizzlies plus 8.5. I think this game will be closer than 8.5, so give me the Bucks in the money line, but give me the Grizzlies plus 8.5. Next up, we have the San Antonio Spurs going to San Antonio to Next up, we have the San Antonio Spurs going to Phoenix to face the Suns. The Spurs come in at 26-28, and the Suns come in at 40-15, and the Phoenix Suns are a 9 point favorite in this one. Give me the Suns to win this game at home. And that does it for the NBA. Let's move on to the MLB. The Mets are going to Colorado to face the Rockies. The Mets come in at 5-3, and the Rockies come in at 3-10. The doubleheader for the Mets here, game 1 of this series is going to start a doubleheader, and hold on, and For the New York Mets, they won their series 3-0 versus the Philadelphia Phillies. And for the Colorado Rockies, they lost their series to the Dodgers. They got swept 3-0. So the pitching matchup for this game is Jacob deGrom for the New York Mets and Chichi Gonzalez for the Colorado Rockies. And I don't know who's favored in this one, but give me the Mets to win this game on the road in Colorado. Next up, we have game 2 of the doubleheader. We have the Mets versus the Rockies again. And the pitching matchup for this game is Joey Lucchesi for the New York Mets and Herman Marquez for the Colorado Rockies. And I don't know who's favored again, but give me the Mets again. Give me the Mets to win this game on the road in Colorado. Next up, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks going to Washington to face the Nationals. The Diamondbacks come in at 5-9, and the Nationals come in at 4-7. Game 1 of this series was won by the Arizona Diamondbacks by a final score of 11-6. Game 2 of this series was won by the Washington Nationals by a final score of 1-0. So the first 2 games of this series were split by these two teams. They split the first 2 games. This is a 4-game set, and the pitching matchup for this game is Luke Weaver for the Arizona Diamondbacks and Eric Fetty for the Washington Nationals. And this one's a pick'em, so I am going to pick the Diamondbacks to win this game on the road in Washington, and give me the under 9 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Rays going to New York to face the Yankees. The Rays come in at 6-8, and the Yankees come in at 5-8. Game 1 of this series was won by the Tampa Bay Rays by a final score of 8-2. The Tampa Bay Rays were killing the Yankees by so much that the fans were really mad and throwing stuff onto the field. They were that pissed at their team that they had to throw stuff on the field. Typical Yankees fans, man. I don't like the Yankees. I'm a Mets fan. The pitching matchup for this game is Tyler Glasnow for the Tampa Bay Rays and Jordan Montgomery for the New York Yankees. And the Tampa Bay Rays are a favorite in this one. Give me the Rays to win this game on the road in New York, and give me the over 8 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Blue Jays going to Kansas City to face the Royals. The Blue Jays come in at 6-7, and the Royals come in at 7-4. This is another doubleheader, because their game got postponed yesterday too. And game 1 of this series was won by the Kansas City Royals by a final score of 7-5. The pitching matchup for this game is Steven Matz for the Toronto Blue Jays and Mike Minor for the Kansas City Royals. And the Toronto Blue Jays are a favorite in this one. Give me the Blue Jays to win this game on the road in Kansas City, and give me the under 9 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Atlanta Braves going to Chicago to face the Cubs. The Braves come in at 6-8, and the Cubs come in at 5-8. Game 1 of this series was won by the Atlanta Braves by a final score of 5-2. The pitching matchup for this game is Huascar Ynoa for the Atlanta Braves and Trevor Williams for the Chicago Cubs. And the Atlanta Braves are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Cubs to win this game at home, and there's no over-under for this game, so I don't know. There's no over-under. Next up, we have the Chicago White Sox going to Boston to face the Red Sox. It's the battle between the Sox here. For the Chicago White Sox, they tied their series against the Indians. They went 2-2 against the Indians. They split their series against the Indians. And the Boston Red Sox, they won their series against the Twins. They won 3 out of the 4 games. They lost the last game of that series. And the pitching matchup for this game is Dylan Cease for the Chicago White Sox and Nick Pivetta for the Boston Red Sox. And I don't know who's favorite in this one, but give me the Red Sox to win this game at home. Next up, we have the St. Louis Cardinals going to Philadelphia to face the Phillies. The Cardinals come in at 6-7, and the Phillies come in at 7-6. Game 1 of this series was won by the Philadelphia Phillies by a final score of 9-2. They blew out the Cardinals, and the pitching matchup for this game is Kwang Hyun Kim for the St. Louis Cardinals and Matt Moore for the Philadelphia Phillies. And the St. Louis Cardinals are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Phillies to win this game at home, and give me the over 8.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Detroit Tigers going to Oakland face the Athletics. The Tigers come in at 6-8, and the Athletics come in at 7-7. Game 1 of this series was won by the Oakland Athletics by a final score of 8-4. Game 2 of this series was won by the Oakland Athletics by a final score of 3-0. So the Athletics have taken the first 2 games of this series. This is a 4-game set, so the Tigers can still even it out for the last 2 games. And the pitching matchup for this game is Casey Mize for the Detroit Tigers and Cole Irvin for the Oakland Athletics. And the Oakland Athletics are a favorite in this one, but give me upset. Give me the Tigers to win this game on the road in Oakland, and give me the under 9 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Cleveland Indians going to Cincinnati to face the Reds, the Battle of Ohio again. The Indians come in at 7-6, and the Red Sox come in at the Reds come in at 8-5. Game 1 of this series was won by the Cincinnati Reds by a final score of 10-3. They blew out the Indians. And the pitching matchup for this game is Tristan McKenzie for the Cleveland Indians and Sonny Gray for the Cincinnati Reds. And the Cincinnati Reds are a favorite in this one. Give me the Reds to win this game at home, and give me the under 8.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have the San Francisco Giants going to Miami to face the Marlins. The Giants come in at 8-5. And the Marlins come in at 6-7. Game 1 of this series was won by the Miami Marlins by a final score of 4-1. The pitching matchup for this game is Aaron Sanchez for the San Francisco Giants and Sandy Alcantara for the Miami Marlins. And the Miami Marlins are a favorite in this one. Give me the Marlins to win this game at home, and give me the under 8 runs in that game. Next up, we have the second of the doubleheader, the Blue Jays and the Royals. The Blue Jays, like I said, are 6-7, and the Royals are 7-4. The pitching matchup for this game is Tommy Malone for the Toronto Blue Jays and Irvin Santana for the Kansas City Royals. And I don't know his favorite in this one, but give me the Blue Jays to win this game on the road in Kansas City. And there's no over-under, so I'm sorry. Next up, we have the Baltimore Orioles going to Texas to face the Rangers. The Orioles come in at 6-8, and the Texas Rangers come in at 6-8. Game 1 of this series was won by the Baltimore Orioles by a final score of 5-2. The pitching matchup for this game is Dean Kremer for the Baltimore Orioles and Dane Dunning for the Texas Rangers. And the Texas Rangers are a favorite in this one. Give me the Rangers to win this game at home, and give me the under 9 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Pirates going to Milwaukee to face the Brewers. The Pirates come in at 6-8, and the Brewers come in at 7-6. Game 1 of this series was won by the Pittsburgh Pirates by a final score of 6-1. The Pittsburgh Pirates beat the Brewers 6-1. What the heck is happening? But good job for the Pirates. They're playing really well for what they expected to happen this season. Everyone expected them to suck, but they are playing hard. And the pitching matchup for this game is Trevor Cahill for the Pittsburgh Pirates and Brett Anderson for the Milwaukee Brewers. And the Milwaukee Brewers are a favorite in this one. Give me the Brewers to win this game at home, and give me the over 8.5 runs in that game. Next up, we have the LA Dodgers going to San Diego to face the Padres. The Dodgers come in at 12-2, and the Padres come in at 9-6. Game 1 of this series was won by the LA Dodgers by a final score of 11-6 in 12 innings. It took 12 innings for this game to end, and the LA Dodgers won 11-6, which means they scored 5 runs in the top of the 12th to win the game 11-6. And the pitching matchup for this game is Clayton Kershaw for the LA Dodgers and Yu Darvish for the San Diego Padres. And the LA Dodgers are a favorite in this one. Give me the Dodgers to win this game on the road in San Diego, and give me the over 7.5 runs in that game. You just can't go against the Dodgers. They're on fire. 12-2 to start off the season. That's amazing. Next up, we have the Minnesota Twins going to Los Angeles to face the Angels. The Twins come in at 6-8, and the Angels come in at 8-5. Game 1 of this series was won by the LA Angels by a final score of 10-3. The pitching matchup for this game is Matt Shoemaker for the Minnesota Twins and Jose Quintana for the LA Angels. And the Minnesota Twins are a favorite in this one. Give me the Twins to win this game on the road in Los Angeles, and give me the over 9 runs in that game. Next up, we have the Houston Astros going to Seattle to face the Mariners. The Astros come in at 6-7, and the Mariners come in at 9-5. Game 1 of this series was won by the Seattle Mariners by a final score of 6-5. They walked it off in the bottom of the 9th. The pitching matchup for this game is Zach Greinke for the Houston Astros and Chris Flexen for the Seattle Mariners. And the Houston Astros are favored in this one. Give me the Astros to win this game on the road in Seattle, and give me the under 8 runs in that game. And that does it for today's picks for tomorrow's games. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please hit me the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.